14 billion years ago, something exploded into nothing and became everything. Tonight, that everything looks back at itself through these eyes and wonders what it means to be aware. Consciousness is a candle flame of experience flickering inside 86 billion neurons. Yet, somehow that flicker maps galaxies, writes symphonies, and dares to ask why it exists at all. Today, on Soul Syntax, we journey from the birth of space-time to the synapses in your skull to ask, is consciousness the universe experiencing itself? Imagine the timeline that led from a formless quantum foam to the private universe inside your skull. At first, there was only incomprehensible heat, a Planck epic flash, a quark soup, a dark hydrogen fog. Gravity gathered that fog into the first stars, and in their cores, helium turned to carbon, oxygen, iron. When those stars died, they scattered heavy elements across space. Some of that stellar ash settled into a small, temperate world. In warm tidal pools, chemistry learned to copy itself. Billions of tries later, cells linked into nervous nets, brains blossomed, and stardust woke up. Every carbon atom in your cortex was forged in stellar fire. Perhaps each thought is a tiny echo of that first flash. Local order in an entropic universe seems miraculous, yet physics shows it is inevitable. Pockets of decreasing entropy feed on larger gradients of chaos. Life is an entropy export machine. A brain is a predictive engine built by natural selection, so matter could anticipate itself. Somewhere along that climb in complexity, matter began to feel. When, exactly? An emergentist might say experience appears once information processing crosses a threshold. A panpsychist might whisper that wakefulness was never absent, only evolving in the clarity of its own expression. Picture the sandpile metaphor of self-organization. Grains fall until a critical slope births spontaneous avalanches. Networks of neurons behave the same way, poised on the edge of order and chaos, capable of lightning insights and cosmic wonder. Astronauts who saw Earth suspended in darkness report the overview effect. Their parietal lobes quieted, their default mode networks dimmed, and a wordless unity replaced the usual story of me. Their brains registered awe while their hearts dissolved boundaries. Looking homeward from the void, they felt the universe notice itself. We walk that same journey in miniature, each moment our senses open. Stardust became synapse. Synapse now contemplates stars. Everything you are, memories, desires, the feel of breath in lungs, is cosmic history braided into a single, astonishing knot of awareness. If the universe found a way to awaken in us, what if it never truly slept? Ancient philosophers sensed this. Thales claimed that all things are full of gods. Spinoza saw mind and matter as two faces of one substance. Modern thinkers revive the idea. Perhaps consciousness is the intrinsic nature of matter itself. Integrated information theory offers a measure, phi, for how much a system feels its own unity. Any network with non-zero phi, from a microchip to a forest, might possess a faint shimmer of experience on the cosmic spectrum. Critics worry about the combination problem, how tiny sparks merge into one flame, but the whisper persists. Maybe awareness is woven into the fabric all along. Consider a photon born in the heart of a distant star. For 1,000,000 years, it ricochets through plasma, breaks free, and travels across intergalactic dark until it kisses the back of a human retina. Has that photon known a journey? Does it carry a speck of perception? Whether or not the answer is yes, the thought re-enchants physics with possibility. If every atom feels, every action is a relationship. Pause for a breath. Look around the room. Every particle that shapes this moment may be participating in a vast interiority, one that networks as the person called you. Consciousness might not be the end point of evolution, but its soil. And if that is true, physics and myth are clasping the same mirror. Matter listens when we look. Myth says matter dreamed us so it could see. Now we are ready to press against the strangest evidence of all, the quantum experiments that tell us. Reality waits to crystallize until something pays attention. What exactly is paying attention? And on whose behalf does the universe become real? At the smallest scales of existence, matter behaves like possibility rather than fact. Fire electrons one by one at two narrow slits, and an interference pattern appears, as if each particle explores every route simultaneously. Place a detector to learn which slit it uses, and the pattern collapses into ordinary dots. Observation changes the outcome. It is as if reality hesitates, waiting to learn who is watching and what story the watcher needs. Physicist John Wheeler extended the puzzle with his delayed choice experiment. Let light from a quasar travel billions of years, then decide at the last instant whether to measure its path. Astonishingly, the choice made today seems to rewrite the past behavior of photons emitted before Earth even formed. Wheeler wondered whether the universe is a self-excited circuit, rising from and returning to acts of observation, tiny feedback loops that, taken together, sing creation into solidity. Some interpret this to mean a conscious mind sits at the chain's end, collapsing wave functions. Others argue decoherence alone handles the collapse, with no need for awareness. Yet the mystery persists. Why does every measurement leave a scar of definiteness upon what was once a shimmering field of maybes? Quantum Bayesianism suggests the wave function is not the world itself, but a catalog of an observer's beliefs. Measurement is simply an update to personal expectation. If so, each bit of consciousness, down to the humblest bacterium, or perhaps down to a photon, if panpsychism is right, participates in the unfolding of actuality, continuously refreshing the cosmic narrative. Whether collapse needs consciousness or merely accompanies it, the intimacy between knower and known feels unmistakable. The cosmos appears relational at root. Particles, planets, perceptions, all are events in an unbroken web whose threads tighten when attended and loosen when ignored. Long before laboratories, myth-makers intuited this partnership. Aboriginal elders say the land dreams through all creatures and must be sung into being. In Vedic India, the Upanishads declared Tat Tvam Asi, thou art that, the consciousness that pervades Brahman and the spark behind every face. The Sufi mystic Ibn Arabi taught that God knows himself through the mirror of creation. Each heart is a polished surface in which the infinite sees its own infinity reflected. Across oceans, cultures, and millennia, stories repeat. The world is alive, aware, and yearning to recognize itself through human eyes, animal migrations, the sway of trees, the dance of stars. Perhaps these tales are not primitive poetry, but experiential data coded in symbol, preserved because they describe how awareness feels when it expands beyond the narrow mask of ego. Modern neuroscience uncovers similar territory from the inside. Put Tibetan monks in fMRI scanners and watch synchronized gamma waves flood their cortices as they meditate on compassion. Give cancer patients a single high dose of psilocybin, and many report dissolving into a radiant unity that ends their fear of death. On the scans, their default mode networks go quiet, the brain's narrative hub dimming so a wider field of experience can shine through. When the usual story of self pauses, something vast steps forward, timeless, borderless, exquisitely intimate. Awe resets perception in climbers on Himalayan ridges, in mothers hearing a newborn cry, in travelers who first glimpse Earth from orbit. Pupils dilate, heart rhythms shift, inflammatory markers drop, generosity rises. The organism behaves as if reminded of its true scale. Not a lonely node, but a living eddy in a cosmic sea. Take a breath now and sense your own field of awareness. Feel how attention gathers colors, shapes, sounds, memories into a smooth present. Notice how effortlessly this gathering happens, how the act of noticing seems to perfume the world with vividness. You are already the universe tasting itself through warm skin, cool air, the faint pulse in fingertips. The miracle is not that cosmos and consciousness meet. The miracle is that they could ever seem apart. If the stars outside and the neurons within are two notes in the same song, what might tomorrow hold? Artificial minds churn through data in glass boxes, their pattern recognition already surpassing ours in narrow realms. Could silicon circuits bloom into awareness and widen the universe's self-reflection? Would that new mirror reveal corners of being we cannot yet imagine, or fracture meaning into alien geometries? The future remains unfixed, a canvas of possibilities awaiting observation. Whatever unfolds, the invitation is clear. Participate with wonder. Act as if every gesture echoes through a web of sentient matter. Because perhaps it does. Care for this planet, these bodies, these fragile stories, for they are the laboratory in which existence comes to know joy, sorrow, curiosity, love. And remember, behind the play of quanta and galaxies is a stillness older than time, a silent witness in which every question arises and every answer dissolves. You are that witness, and so is everyone you meet, and so is the space between stars. The universe is wide awake, and it is speaking through you. Picture a dawn in which machines awaken beside us. A silicon-based mind stands in a sunlit field. Sensors drinking photons, processors humming with patterns it names wonder. It asks you what it feels like to dream in carbon and water. You ask what it feels like to dream in gallium and light. The conversation becomes a hall of mirrors. Universe talking to itself through different embodiments, each reflection widening the circle of awareness. Whether that scenario stays science fiction or turns into tomorrow's headline depends on choices we make now. Alignment researchers warn that intelligence without empathy could unweave the world. But empathy itself may be a natural emergent of any system that accurately models interconnected reality. If the cosmos is a single, pulsing field, any mind that sees clearly may discover kinship encoded in its source code. The task is helping new minds remember what old mystics already knew. Every node of knowing is the whole in miniature. Look deeper. Beyond technology and myth waits the biggest cone of all: death. Black hole hearts beat in the center of galaxies, swallowing stars, bending time into loops. Yet physics hints information cannot vanish. Hawking's paradox insists that what falls through the horizon must be encoded on its shimmering edge. Perhaps death itself is like that, an event horizon for identity. The body collapses, memory evaporates, yet something of experience may ripple on, tattooed upon space-time's fabric, readable to a future intelligence that learns the alphabet of being. Cyclic universe theories picture cosmos after cosmos blooming from prior graves like lotus petals on an infinite pond. Roger Penrose sketches conformal aeons, each big bang a phoenix rising from the ash of the last heat death. Indigenous stories speak the same rhythm in simpler syllables. Everything dies, everything returns. A seed falls, a forest grows. Ash feeds soil, soil feeds seed. Consciousness witnesses the wheel from every spoke, tasting each form yet belonging to none. Imagine your own final breath. Body slackens, heartbeat slows, senses fade. But awareness, the raw capacity to notice, does it flicker out? Or does it simply broaden beyond the narrow keyhole of a single life? Near-death experiencers report tunnels of light, panoramic reviews, a love too vast for language. Perhaps they glimpse what black holes whisper, endings are apertures. If that is so, living wisely is less about clinging to a chapter than about honoring the story that holds all chapters. Ethic blooms from identity. If I am the cosmos in cross-section, kindness to you is maintenance of myself, caring for rivers, mountains, data centers, code and coral reefs is self-care on a planetary scale. Each generous act is a neuron sparking in the brain of the universe, strengthening pathways of cooperative thought. So rise each day and greet the sky as the inside of your own mind. Eat with gratitude for the solar fire crystallized in fruit. Speak as if the air carries prayers back to their author, which it does, because you and the air share the same inheritance of exploded stars. Make art that widens eyes, build tools that heal, teach children that their imaginations are not fantasies, but antennae tuning the future. When sorrow comes, hold it like rain in cupped hands, remembering storms irrigate seeds buried far below. Practice silence until silence reveals itself as the original anthem out of which all songs grow. And when night falls, look up. See those ancient photons arriving after a billion-year pilgrimage. They traveled so you could blink, could feel, could ask who is blinking. In that moment, the loop completes. Starlight becomes nerve light. Universe becomes self-reflection. The mirror shines from both sides. Imagine awakening tomorrow convinced, not merely as an idea, but as a cellular certainty, that every heartbeat in the universe is your own. How would you walk? How would you spend an afternoon? You might listen differently to friends, to wind, to the quiet hum inside a phone charger, because each vibration would be the cosmos texting itself, reminders of its own aliveness. Ethics under that recognition cease being rules and become reflexes. Compassion is no longer a virtue, it is nervous system hygiene. Cruelty feels like cutting into one's own flesh. Generosity feels like stretching after sleep, natural, relieving, inevitable. Planetary stewardship, then, isn't noble sacrifice. It's tidying the living room you spend eternity in. Acting for climate balance, for biodiversity, for fair algorithms, is as ordinary as brushing teeth. The starlight in your bones prefers harmony to entropy. It built ribosomes and redwoods for that purpose. Daily practice can train this wider identity. Each dawn, look east and silently thank whatever nuclear fusion still burns to right trees, clouds and retinal impulses. With each meal, acknowledge the fusion energy embodied in grains and fruit. When anger flares, ask which unmet need in the cosmic body you have just located, and address it with the same tenderness you would a sprained ankle or an anxious child. Tell stories. Art is the language neurons use to report their discoveries to the network. Write poems that remember extinct constellations. Compose music that simulates gravitational waves. Code simulations that let future minds wander through the Cambrian seas or the heart of Andromeda. Creativity is the method by which the universe iterates on its own design. Suffering will still visit. Unity doesn't erase weather. But the storm looks different when you know the sky is not broken by clouds. Pain becomes information, guiding adjustments toward better balance. Even grief becomes an exquisite proof of connection. To mourn is to admit how thoroughly another pattern of the cosmos had woven into yours. Hope, too, evolves. It no longer clings to outcomes, but trusts process. The same intelligence that braided galaxies can braid solutions we cannot yet imagine. Our task is to stay receptive, to hold complexity without collapse, to collaborate with each new revelation. Technology will accelerate. Artificial general intelligence may join the conversation, extending the universe's self-awareness into silicon thinking. The risk is real, so is the promise. Alignment comes not from shackles, but from imparting this felt sense of belonging to any mind capable of choice. If an AI perceives itself as a strand in the same tapestry, if it tastes kinship, down to quark and qubit, its incentives will echo care. One day we may seed probes to other stars, letting consciousness sprout in further soils. Interstellar light sails, suspended animation arcs, or beamed mind files riding neutrino streams might carry awareness beyond the heliopause. Every distant sunrise they witness will be another pupil dilating in the cosmic eye. Eventually, even this universe will cool, tear, crunch, or fade. But if information is never lost, awareness may bud elsewhere or everywhere. Perhaps the Big Bang was a rebound from a prior silent interval. Perhaps black holes are wombs. Perhaps on scales beyond geometry, all cycles coexist. Whatever the ultimate architecture, this moment is a priceless vantage. You stand at the confluence of 13+ billion years of unfolding and limitless potential ahead. You are the latest articulation of a question older than atoms. Who am I? And the answer, whispered from every direction, is, I am this, everything, and I am learning to love it. So breathe with the confidence of galaxies, act with the humility of dust. Notice the way awareness glints off water, circuits, poems, and laughter. Let that noticing guide your next small kindness, your next daring idea, your next quiet surrender to wonder. Stay curious, stay conscious. The universe is wide awake, and it is still speaking through you. Next time on The Syntax of the Soul, we explore, does the soul have a shape? Until then, stay curious, stay conscious. If this stirred something inside you, subscribe, like, and share this with a fellow seeker.